Hi, and time once again for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. So glad you could be with us. Money TV is the program all about money and what makes it happen. You know, I was thinking about the first job I ever had as a kid. It was a newspaper route. Every day after school, I would load up 2 canvas shoulder bags containing about 140 newspapers, and I'd spend the next couple of hours delivering to my customers. Saturday was collection day. I kept track of who paid, who didn't, brought the newspaper their share of the money, and I was left with about $15 a week. I was 11 years old. Now, my first real job was at 14. I was a grocery bagger and general help at a small local supermarket. I was paid the minimum wage at the time, it was about $1.60 per hour. Now, my first day on the job happened to be the last day of the store's pay period, and I was handed a pay envelope for my 8-hour shift. Now, after taxes, I had cleared nearly $11 for 8 hours work, or nearly as much as a full week of being a paperboy. Well, let me tell you, I was hooked. Working was the way to go for me. Now, I grew up in a small southern Maine town of about 17,000 people. There were maybe 100 jobs available for kids at any one given time, but I always made sure that I had one or more of them. My father had once told me, if you're looking for a job and you want to work 8 hours per day, then you spend 8 hours per day looking until you find one. That's great advice, which I've never forgotten. Now, any job I managed to get through the age of 17 usually paid minimum wage. I don't ever remember being bothered by that. I didn't expect to be working as unskilled labor my entire life, earning minimum wage my entire life. If a person, however, is content to exist with a minimum education, minimum job skills, and minimum effort to improve themselves, then unfortunately, minimum wage is probably what that is worth on the job market. So what we're seeing now are fast food workers protesting minimum wages being paid, but when did employers become responsible for life choices made by their employees? If someone chooses to just skate by in school and in life, when did it become the responsibility for the government or an employer to bail that person out? A minimum wage employee with minimum skills who strikes demanding $15 per hour or $2,400 per month to perform a minimum skill job is someday soon going to be replaced by an automated machine, which is always at work, costs about $100 a month to maintain, and doesn't protest anything. Now, an employer is facing taxes, food costs, rent, insurance expenses, regulations, and competition. They have to find ways to be profitable to stay in business. Raising minimum wages forces employers to dismiss low productivity workers. This policy has the largest effect on those with the least education, job experience, and maturity. There's an assemblywoman in California. She wants to increase the minimum wage there to $26 per hour. Similar proposal in Switzerland was shot down by 76% of the voters this week, but the Swiss have always been pretty smart about money. Now, helping someone in need is the right and the moral thing to do until you discover that person begins to expect it and demand it rather than use the help to better themselves so that they may someday do the same for another. Now, here's something we don't expect or demand, but we certainly ask you to call our toll-free number, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program, 888-259-4449 for information about our featured guest. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. It is free, as is the call from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. On your mobile phone, just text Money TV to go 800 or 46800. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.